Today is Monday, September 3rd, 2012. New day. Good morning. Today I'm going to read Psalm 1 and share my own personal reflections on it as far as how it's relevant in my life. I'm reading from the New Living Translation. Oh, the joys of those who do not follow the advice of the wicked, or stand around with sinners, or join in with scoffers. But they delight in doing everything the Lord wants. Day and night they think about his law. They are like trees planted along the riverbank, bearing fruit each season without fail. Their leaves never wither, and in all they do, they prosper. But this is not true of the wicked. They are like worthless chaff scattered by the wind. They will be condemned at the time of judgment. Sinners will have no place among the godly. For the Lord watches over the path of the godly, but the path of the wicked leads to destruction. My initial reaction is one of kind of fear that I'm in serious trouble if I'm not perfect. But I know that the Lord isn't actually asking me to be perfect. Only God is perfect, and I'm not God. So logically, I can't be perfect. So I'm going to think about that first line, oh, the joys of those who do not follow the advice of the wicked. The joy. I really think that is ultimately the message that the Lord always has for me, is one of joy and hope and uplifted thoughts. The last verse goes, for the Lord watches over the path of the godly, but the path of the wicked leads to destruction. Destruction is the result of sin, of evil, of making bad choices for yourself and those around you. So I think it's really pointing out that the Lord watches over my path, period. And when I do evil, that's its own punishment. It doesn't say the Lord watches over the path of the godly, but he stands above the wicked and punishes them brutally. It says the path of the wicked leads to destruction, as though that happens regardless. Earlier on jumped out at me the sort of poetic comparison. They're like trees planted along the riverbank, bearing fruit each season without fail. Their leaves never wither, and in all they do they prosper. Trees planted along the riverbank. Since a tree needs water to survive, being along a riverbank, pretty sweet deal. The other thing that occurs to me is the way that the roots of a tree, when they're a tree that is right next to a river, those roots are actually really important to the whole setup, because a river naturally and slowly erodes the riverbank. But when the roots of a tree are there, they hold the riverbank there. They help it stay intact for longer. The tree is fed by the water. The water nourishes the whole landscape, and the tree adds stability to its surroundings. So just think about, if I go to the Lord for my truth and my life and my source of being, I will be given what I need. And I will thereby add structure and security and good things to the place where I'm planted, so the world. I think that's what it's getting at. Bearing fruit each season without fail. So I could take that two ways. It could be bearing fruit each appropriate bearing fruit season, right? Like an apple tree always gives apples in the late summer and fall, at least around here. So I could take it to mean every time I'm ripe to give fruit, I will give fruit. Or I could take it to mean in every season, all 4 seasons, I will bear fruit. And I think that's the way I'm going to look at it. And I think of seasons in my life as sort of the ups and downs of life. So the idea being that no matter what state or stage my life is in, I can be fruitful. I can be useful to the world and to God and to the people around me. Oh, the joys of those who do not follow the advice of the wicked. So I need to, in order to be happy, I need to resist wickedness. Pretty straightforward. Or stand around with sinners, or join in with scoffers. But they delight in doing everything the Lord wants. Day and night they think about his law. So taken all together, that whole first chunk, I want to remind myself that when I'm reading the word, there is no they, it's all them. I mean, there is no they or them, it's all me. So, those who do not follow the advice of the wicked is me. But so are the wicked. They're me as well, and the sinners, and the scoffers. But I can also be that person who delights in doing everything the Lord wants. It's my choice. Who am I going to choose to be? I don't want to take anything I read from the Word and decide how other people should live. I should read the Word and decide how I should live. There's such a contrast in this psalm between the good and the wicked. And I think that's showing me the contrast in my own heart and mind. I'm a mixed bag. And yet, if I choose to connect with wickedness or evil, that chases away the goodness in my life and in my heart. That last thing of the path of the wicked leads to destruction. I think the Lord loves me all the time, under all circumstances. There are other parts of the Word that talk about that. But I think I cannot be truly, truly good and truly, truly evil at the same time. So I need to, in my life, always strive to follow the Lord. I have an opportunity every minute to turn back to the Lord and pray for help to be saved from my own wickedness. And I think it is one of hope. The Lord watches over the path of the godly, but the path of the wicked leads to destruction. So my own evil will destroy itself. I do think that my life, every moment of every day, is my education in how to become as close to perfect as possible. I believe that when we die, we go to heaven and become angels. I don't think we're a separate race from angels. And after death, we end up going where we will be happiest, whether that's heaven or hell. And I aim to go to heaven. I really want to be in heaven. But that means I have to love what heaven is and love what angels do. And that means being good and loving the Lord and living a life of use to others. So that's my take on Psalm 1. What's your take on Psalm 1? What does it say to you when you read it? What's the message hidden in those words specifically for you? Share in comments or leave a video response. I hope you have a blessed day.